Ice cream feels innocent, cool, creamy, sweet. But beneath that glossy swirl lurks something sinister. From bacterial contamination to hidden sugars wrapped in cheerful packaging, some of Britain's favourite brands are silently damaging your health. Today we expose 9 ice cream brands you need to avoid, and at the very end, 2 that are actually safe. Coming in at number 9, we have got Carte D'Or. Carte D'Or has been a freezer aisle staple in the United Kingdom for decades. The elegant tubs promise indulgence, continental sophistication, and that unmistakable smooth texture. You have probably seen them at family gatherings, dinner parties, or sitting in your own freezer right now. The branding suggests quality, premium, a treat worth savouring. But here is what they do not tell you on the front of that tub. Carte D'Or is not traditional ice cream. It is what the industry calls a frozen dessert. The difference matters. Real ice cream must contain a minimum percentage of dairy fat. Carte D'Or sidesteps this by using vegetable oils and a cocktail of emulsifiers and stabilizers to mimic that creamy mouthfeel. You think you're eating dairy, you're eating processed plant fats whipped with air and chemicals. For seniors, this matters more than you might think. Many of these vegetable oils are high in omega-6 fatty acids, which in excess can promote inflammation. Chronic inflammation is linked to heart disease, joint pain, and cognitive decline. If you are already managing blood pressure or cholesterol, you are adding fuel to a fire you cannot see. Then there is the sugar content. A single 100 milliliter serving of Carte D'Or vanilla can contain over 15 grams of sugar. That is nearly 4 teaspoons. And let us be honest, who eats exactly 100 milliliters? A realistic portion is double that, sometimes triple. Suddenly, you are consuming the sugar equivalent of a fizzy drink, all while thinking you are having a modest dessert. The texture itself should raise questions. That impossibly smooth consistency, the way it never quite freezes solid, the slightly waxy coating it leaves on your tongue. That is not craftsmanship. That is food science designed to mask cheap ingredients. Traditional ice cream has texture, variation, a slight resistance. Carte D'Or glides too easily because it is engineered to, not churned to. For seniors with diabetes or pre-diabetes, this sugar bomb wrapped in sophisticated packaging is a trap. Blood glucose spikes, then crashes, energy dips, cravings return, and the cycle continues. The betrayal here is in the branding. Carte D'Or positions itself as a premium choice. The price reflects this, but what you are paying for is marketing, not quality. The ingredients list tells a different story than the elegant fonts and continental imagery on the packaging. Consumer complaints have noted inconsistent quality over the years. Some batches arrive with freezer burn, others have an odd aftertaste that lingers. When you are paying premium prices, you expect premium consistency. Instead, you get lottery results from a factory production line. The company has also faced criticism for shrinkflation. The tubs have gotten smaller while prices have crept up. You are paying more for less, and what you are getting was never that good to begin with. If you have Carte D'Or in your freezer right now, read the ingredients list. Count the items you cannot pronounce. Ask yourself if this is really what you thought you were buying. At number 8, we have Viennetta. Viennetta occupies a strange place in British food nostalgia. For many people over 50, it represents special occasions. The distinctive wavy layers, the thin sheets of chocolate, the satisfying crack when you cut into it. It felt fancy. It felt European. It felt like a proper dessert. But nostalgia is a powerful blindfold. Viennetta is produced by Walls, which is owned by Unilever, the same corporate machinery behind Carte D'Or, and the same cost-cutting philosophy applies. This is not artisan dessert making. This is industrial food production dressed in elegant packaging. The ingredient list reads like a chemistry textbook. Reconstituted skimmed milk, glucose-fructose syrup, hydrogenated vegetable fat, emulsifiers, stabilizers, flavorings. The word cream appears, but it is far down the list, playing a supporting role to cheaper substitutes. For seniors, the hydrogenated vegetable fats are particularly concerning. These are trans fats by another name. Research consistently links trans fat consumption to increased risk of heart disease, stroke, and type 2 diabetes. The British Heart Foundation has warned against these fats for years, yet here they are, hiding in your nostalgic dessert. The chocolate layers that give Viennetta its signature look are not really chocolate. They are compound chocolate, made with vegetable fat instead of cocoa butter. It is cheaper to produce and easier to work with in factory settings. But it lacks the genuine flavor and health-neutral profile of real chocolate. You are eating a simulation of chocolate, not the real thing. Sugar content is predictably high. A standard serving pushes past the daily recommended free sugar intake for adults. For seniors managing blood glucose levels, this is not an occasional treat. It is a metabolic challenge your body increasingly struggles to handle. The texture that once seemed so elegant now reveals itself as engineered. Those thin layers are designed to maximize surface area while minimizing actual product. You are paying for air and architecture, not substance. The satisfying crack is psychological theatre, not culinary quality. Consumer reviews in recent years have been mixed at best. Complaints about the product being smaller than remembered. The chocolate coating tastes cheaper. The cream layers seem thinner. Some batches arrive partially melted and refrozen, resulting in ice crystals that destroy the intended texture. For seniors who remember Viennetta from decades past, the product you loved may not exist anymore. What sits in supermarket freezers today shares a name and a shape, but the soul has been cost-engineered out of it. The betrayal is emotional as much as physical. You trust your memories, you trust familiar brands, and that trust is exploited by corporations who changed the recipe long ago while keeping the nostalgic packaging intact. Most people never learn how to spot these hidden dangers, but stick around. The solution comes at the very end of this video, and it could change how you shop forever. Now at number 7, we have Magnum. Magnum built its entire brand identity on indulgence. The thick chocolate shell, the crack when you bite through, the creamy vanilla center. Every advertisement features beautiful people in exotic locations experiencing pure pleasure. The message is clear. This is premium ice cream for discerning adults. The reality is considerably less glamorous. Magnum is another Unilever product which should immediately raise questions given what we have already covered. The company excels at premium positioning while delivering mass-market manufacturing. Let us start with that famous chocolate coating. Yes, it contains real cocoa, but it also contains vegetable fats, sugar, and emulsifiers designed to achieve that specific snap without the cost of pure cocoa butter. The chocolate is engineered for texture, not flavor. Real Belgian chocolate, as the branding implies, would behave differently. It would melt differently on your tongue. It would cost significantly more to produce. The ice cream inside is reconstituted milk with added sugar, vegetable fat, and stabilizers. For a product positioned as premium, the actual cream content is disappointingly low. You are paying premium prices for ingredients that cost a fraction to source. For seniors, the calorie density is a hidden trap. A single Magnum Classic contains over 260 calories. That is significant for anyone watching their weight, managing diabetes, or trying to maintain cardiovascular health. And because Magnum is positioned as an individual treat, portion control seems built in, but the calorie density relative to actual nutrition is terrible. You are consuming substantial energy with minimal benefit. The sugar content in a single bar exceeds 20 grams. For reference, the NHS recommends adults consume no more than 30 grams of free sugars per day. One Magnum takes you 2/3 of the way there before you have eaten anything else. Blood pressure medication can be affected by sudden sugar intake. Blood glucose spikes cause vascular stress. For seniors already managing hypertension, every Magnum is a small gamble your body has to process. The manufacturing process has also faced scrutiny. In 2019, there were reports of quality control issues in certain batches, chocolate coatings that were too thin, ice cream that had clearly melted and refrozen. For a brand charging premium prices, the inconsistency was notable. Consumer trust in Magnum rests entirely on advertising. The product itself does not justify the positioning. Strip away the marketing and you have mass-produced ice cream with a chocolate coating that merely mimics quality. For seniors who grew up when ice cream meant proper dairy, Magnum represents a generational bait and switch. The promise of indulgence. The delivery of industrial food science. Number 6 on our list is Haagen-Dazs. Now this one might surprise you. Haagen-Dazs positions itself at the very top of the supermarket ice cream hierarchy. The name sounds European, sophisticated, perhaps Scandinavian. The pricing reflects supposed exclusivity. The small tubs suggest concentrated quality over quantity. Here is the first betrayal. Haagen-Dazs is not European at all. The name was invented by an American businessman in the 1960s specifically because it sounded foreign and premium. There is no meaning behind those umlauts. It is pure marketing theatre designed to justify higher prices. The brand is now owned by General Mills, an American food conglomerate. Production happens in factories around the world, including France, but the artisanal image is corporate invention. To be fair, Haagen-Dazs uses simpler ingredients than many competitors. Real milk and cream from British farms, real sugar rather than glucose syrups, real flavourings from actual sources. The base recipe is more traditional, but this does not make it safe for seniors with health concerns. A 100ml serving of Haagen-Dazs vanilla contains around 250 calories and 17 grams of sugar. Because the portion size is smaller than most ice creams, people assume they are eating less. But calorie for calorie, Haagen-Dazs is one of the most energy-dense ice creams available. Eat the whole small tub, which many people do, and you have consumed over 500 calories and 34 grams of sugar in one sitting. For seniors managing weight, blood sugar, or heart health, this density is dangerous. The richness that feels like quality is actually concentrated risk. The saturated fat content is also notably high. While recent research has complicated our understanding of saturated fat, for seniors on cholesterol medication or managing arterial health, high saturated fat intake remains a concern. One small tub can contain over 20 grams of saturated fat, exceeding daily recommended limits. There have been occasional recall concerns with Haagen-Dazs. In 2022, certain batches were recalled across Europe due to potential contamination with ethylene oxide, a pesticide banned in European food production. The recall was handled quietly, but it revealed vulnerabilities in the supply chain that premium branding cannot protect against. The small tub psychology also encourages overconsumption. Because the tub looks modest, people eat the whole thing without guilt. The same amount of a cheaper ice cream would feel excessive. Haagen-Dazs has engineered portion distortion through clever packaging. For seniors who believe they are making a healthier choice by choosing premium, Haagen-Dazs represents a different kind of trap. Better ingredients, perhaps, but concentrated in ways that create new risks. The price premium gives false confidence. You assume that paying more means eating better, but your blood sugar does not care what you paid. Your arteries do not recognize brand positioning. What is the most disappointing ice cream you have ever bought? Drop it in the comments below. Coming in at number 5, we have Ben & Jerry's. Ben & Jerry's occupies an interesting cultural space. The brand built its reputation on counterculture values, quirky flavors, and ethical positioning. Fair trade ingredients, climate consciousness, social activism. For many consumers, choosing Ben & Jerry's feels like a moral choice as much as a taste preference. But stripped of the progressive branding, what are you actually eating? Ben & Jerry's is owned by Unilever, the same corporate parent behind Magnum, Viennetta and Carte D'Or. Whatever independent spirit the brand once had was acquired along with the recipe book in 2000. The activism continues as marketing, but the production is thoroughly corporate. The flavor innovation that made Ben & Jerry's famous comes with a cost. Those chunks, swirls and mix-ins dramatically increase sugar, fat and calorie content. A serving of cookie dough or fish food can exceed 300 calories and 30 grams of sugar, and serving sizes are deliberately small, around 100 milliliters, which nobody actually adheres to. For seniors, the combination of high sugar and high fat is particularly problematic. This profile causes blood glucose spikes while simultaneously increasing fat storage. It is the metabolic double punch that accelerates weight gain, stresses the cardiovascular system, and complicates diabetes management. The chunks and pieces also create dental risks. Hard frozen cookie pieces and chocolate chunks can crack vulnerable teeth or damage dental work. For seniors with crowns, bridges, or weakened enamel, every bite is a potential dental emergency. Consumer complaints have increased about inconsistency. Some tubs are heavy with mix-ins. Others are disappointingly plain. For a premium product, quality control seems variable. You are paying for the promise of an experience that may or may not actually be in the tub. The ethical positioning also warrants scrutiny. While Ben & Jerry's uses fair trade ingredients for some components, the overall supply chain remains industrial. Palm oil derivatives appear in some products, linking to deforestation concerns regardless of certification claims. The values-based marketing may not reflect the full reality of production. For seniors drawn to Ben & Jerry's social messaging, the gap between brand values and nutritional reality is worth considering. You cannot offset high sugar and saturated fat consumption with good intentions. Your body processes what you eat, not what the packaging believes. If this is helping you make safer choices at the supermarket, hit subscribe. It is free and it means you will never miss these exposés. Do not go yet. We are only halfway through and what is coming up could be sitting in your freezer right now. The solution to all of this is revealed at the very end. Stay with me. Number 4 brings us to Wall's. Wall's is the default ice cream brand for millions of British households. The blue and white logo is everywhere. Corner shops, supermarket freezers, ice cream vans. For generations, Wall's meant summer. It meant childhood. It meant affordable pleasure. But familiarity breeds complacency, and Wall's has been coasting on nostalgia while quietly compromising quality for decades. Wall's is owned by Unilever, which by now should be a pattern you recognise. The company controls a vast portion of the UK ice cream market through various brands, allowing it to dominate without seeming like a monopoly. Wall's is the budget end of that empire, and budget means compromises. Standard Wall's products rely heavily on reconstituted skimmed milk, vegetable fats, glucose syrups, and a complex array of stabilizers and emulsifiers. The goal is not quality. The goal is shelf stability, manufacturing efficiency, and maximum profit margin. For seniors, the hidden sugars in Wall's products are concerning. A standard cornetto contains over 18 grams of sugar. A twister, marketed as fruit-based and refreshing, contains similar levels. These are not occasional treats. They are sugar delivery systems in frozen form. The vegetable fats used in Wall's products have changed over the years as regulations tightened on trans fats, but the replacements are not necessarily healthier. Palm oil derivatives, which raise their own health and environmental concerns, are common. The fat profile may be better than it was, but it is far from optimal. Quality control at the budget end of the market is naturally looser. Consumer complaints about Wall's products include off flavors, freezer burn, and textural problems suggesting poor storage during distribution. When you are buying the cheapest option, you accept certain risks. The ice cream van experience, so central to British summers, also raises questions. How long has that cornetto been sitting in that van? What temperature has it been stored at? Has it partially thawed and refrozen multiple times? For seniors with compromised immune systems, these questions matter. The betrayal with Wall's is in the everyman positioning. This is ice cream for regular people. Affordable, accessible, familiar. But affordable often means corners have been cut where you cannot see them. The ice cream that feels like a simple pleasure is engineered industrial product. A 2022 report from the Grocer magazine highlighted widespread concerns about frozen food storage standards across budget retailers. Temperature fluctuations during transport were flagged as a recurring issue. For ice cream, this means potential bacterial growth and compromised texture. Ever noticed how the same companies keep having quality issues, but their products are still on every shelf? At number 3, we have Cadbury. Cadbury is perhaps the most trusted confectionery name in Britain. The purple packaging, the dairy milk heritage, the association with quality chocolate. When Cadbury expanded into ice cream, consumers assumed that trust would transfer. It did not. Cadbury Ice Cream is produced under license, which means another company manufactures it using the Cadbury name. The chocolate expertise that built the brand does not necessarily translate to ice cream production. You're buying a name, not a guarantee. The Cadbury Ice Cream range includes bars, tubs, and novelty items. Across the range, you find the same industrial ingredients we have seen elsewhere: reconstituted milk, vegetable fats, glucose syrups, stabilizers. The dairy milk brand implies dairy richness, but the reality is cost-engineered product. For seniors, the Cadbury Association creates false confidence. You trust the name. You have eaten Cadbury products for decades. You assume the ice cream maintains the same standards. But licensing arrangements do not transfer quality control. They transfer brand usage rights. The chocolate content in Cadbury ice cream products is also worth questioning. The coating on a Cadbury dairy milk bar of actual chocolate is fundamentally different from the compound chocolate coating on a Cadbury ice cream bar. Different ingredients, different manufacturing, different quality. The name is the same. The product is not. Sugar content across the Cadbury ice cream range is consistently high. A single Cadbury flake ice cream contains over 20 grams of sugar. For seniors managing blood glucose, heart health, or kidney function, these numbers add up quickly. There have been consumer complaints about declining quality over the years. The chocolate tastes different. The ice cream is less creamy. The overall experience does not match the memory. This is the inevitable result of licensed manufacturing, where the brand owner focuses on royalties while the manufacturer focuses on margins. The FDA equivalent in the UK, the Food Standards Agency, has repeatedly warned about misleading labeling in the frozen desserts sector. Products that look like premium chocolate treats often contain minimal actual cocoa solids and rely heavily on cheaper substitutes. The trust Cadbury built over a century is being borrowed, not earned, by the ice cream products. For seniors who reach for the familiar purple packaging expecting familiar quality, the gap between expectation and reality is a quiet betrayal. Number 2 on our avoid list is Iceland Own Brand. Iceland, the supermarket, has built a reputation on frozen food value. The store specifically targets budget-conscious shoppers, including many pensioners, who appreciate the combination of low prices and home delivery. But budget frozen desserts come with hidden costs. Iceland Own Brand ice cream products are priced aggressively low. This is only possible through ingredient compromises. The cream content is minimal. Vegetable fats and stabilizers do the heavy lifting. Sugar and glucose syrups provide sweetness cheaper than quality dairy. For seniors shopping on fixed incomes, Iceland offers accessibility. But the ice cream you can afford to buy may not be the ice cream you can afford to eat. The health costs of regular consumption are not reflected in the price tag. The ingredients lists on Iceland ice cream products are lengthy. Multiple E numbers, emulsifiers, stabilizers, flavorings, and colorings. Each one is individually approved as safe, but the cumulative effect of consuming multiple additives regularly is less studied. For seniors already processing multiple medications, adding chemical complexity to the diet raises questions. Storage conditions in budget retail also warrant consideration. Iceland stores process enormous volumes at low margins. Temperature control, stock rotation, and handling may not match premium retailers. Partial thawing and refreezing can allow bacterial growth even in frozen products. For seniors with compromised immune systems, this is not theoretical risk. The value proposition of Iceland Own Brand ice cream is straightforward. Maximum product for minimum cost. But value is not just about price. It is about what you get for what you pay. When the ingredients list reads like a chemical inventory, you are getting something different from ice cream. You are getting an ice cream simulation. Consumer reviews for Iceland Own Brand ice cream are mixed. Some appreciate the value. Others note watery texture, artificial aftertaste, and inconsistent quality between batches. When margins are razor thin, quality control becomes an expense to minimize. For seniors drawn to Iceland by accessibility and price, the ice cream aisle deserves extra scrutiny. Not everything that is affordable is wise. And finally, at number 1, the worst offender is Tesco Finest. This is the brand that might be sitting in your freezer right now, and you probably think you made a smart choice. Tesco Finest positions itself as the supermarket's premium tier. Better ingredients, better quality, worth paying a little more. The black and gold packaging signals sophistication. The word finest itself implies this is as good as supermarket ice cream gets. But finest compared to what? Tesco Finest ice cream is still supermarket ice cream. The production is industrial. The supply chains are massive. The goal is profit margin, not artisan quality. Finest means better than Tesco value. It does not mean genuinely fine. The ingredient lists on Tesco Finest ice cream reveal the same processed reality we have seen throughout this list. Yes, there is more cream than budget options. Yes, the vanilla may be real rather than synthetic, but the stabilizers, emulsifiers, and processing aids remain. This is engineered food in premium packaging. For seniors, the premium positioning creates a specific trap. You believe you are making the healthier choice. You pay more, so you assume you are getting more. But the calorie content, sugar levels, and fat profiles of Tesco Finest ice cream are not dramatically different from mid-range alternatives. You are paying for perception, not nutrition. Recent analysis by Which magazine found that the quality gaps between standard and premium supermarket tiers are often smaller than pricing suggests. The biggest difference is frequently in packaging and marketing, not in what actually goes into the product. Tesco Finest is no exception. There have been consumer complaints about inconsistency in the Finest ice cream range. Some flavors are genuinely good, others taste artificial or have off-putting textures. Quality control across a supermarket's premium range cannot match a dedicated ice cream producer. The betrayal here is in the premium promise. Seniors looking for better options, willing to pay more for quality, trusting the Finest label to mean something, and finding that supermarket premium is still supermarket industrial. According to recent research from the British Nutrition Foundation, the average British adult consumes nearly twice the recommended daily sugar intake. Ice cream, particularly premium ice cream positioned as an acceptable indulgence, contributes significantly to this overconsumption. For seniors managing chronic conditions, this excess has consequences. A 2023 report from Age UK highlighted that many older adults are unaware of the sugar content in products marketed as premium or quality. The assumption that higher price means healthier choice is deeply embedded but fundamentally flawed. If you have Tesco Finest ice cream in your freezer right now, read the ingredients list tonight. Compare it to what you imagine premium means. The gap between the two is where your trust is being exploited. The first safe option is Jude's ice cream. And this Hampshire-based producer does things differently. The company is still family-owned, not absorbed into a multinational food conglomerate. The ingredients lists are short and readable. Real milk and cream from British farms. Real sugar rather than glucose syrups. Real flavourings from actual sources. Jude's has won over 100 Great Taste Awards, which are judged blindly by food experts. The recognition is for actual quality, not marketing budgets. When your product wins based on flavour alone, you know the fundamentals are right. For seniors concerned about additives, Jude's offers transparency. The ingredient lists are minimal. The processing is less industrial. The stabilizers and emulsifiers that dominate mass-market ice cream are largely absent or significantly reduced. The company also produces lower sugar options that do not rely on artificial sweeteners. For seniors managing blood glucose, this allows occasional indulgence without the metabolic spike. Jude's is more expensive than supermarket brands, but you are paying for actual quality, not premium packaging around industrial ingredients. The price reflects what goes into the product, not the advertising budget behind it. Available in major supermarkets across the UK, Jude's is accessible without requiring specialty shopping. You can find it in Waitrose, Sainsbury's, Tesco, and Ocado. For seniors who remember what ice cream used to taste like before the industrial processing took over, Jude's represents a return to genuine quality. Real ingredients, real craftsmanship, real flavour. The second safe option is Marshfield Farm Ice Cream. This family-run dairy farm in Wiltshire has been producing ice cream for over 3 decades. The milk comes from their own herd of Guernsey cows, which produce naturally creamier milk with higher butterfat content. From field to freezer, they control the process. The ingredient lists are remarkably simple. Milk, cream, sugar, and natural flavourings. No vegetable fats substituting for dairy. No complex emulsifiers masking cheap ingredients. No industrial processing designed for shelf stability over quality. Marshfield Farm ice cream is sold in farm shops, independent retailers, and increasingly in select supermarkets. The distribution is smaller than industrial brands, but the quality justifies seeking it out. For seniors concerned about the food system, Marshfield Farm represents an alternative. A farm you can visit, cows you can see, a production process that prioritizes quality over shareholder returns. The butterfat content from Guernsey cows also means the ice cream is more satisfying in smaller quantities. You eat less because the richness is genuine, not simulated. Portion control becomes natural when quality is real. A 2023 survey by Which magazine found that consumer trust in small-scale British food producers significantly exceeds trust in multinational brands. For seniors who have watched quality decline over decades, supporting genuine producers offers both better food and better peace of mind. Marshfield Farm ice cream costs more per serving than supermarket brands, but the experience is incomparable. This is what ice cream is supposed to taste like. This is what the industrial brands are imitating and failing to match. Do not risk your health on ice cream that promises quality and delivers processing. You now know which brands to leave on the shelf and which ones are worth your money. Your health is too important for corporate compromise. Subscribe now, and if you are watching on TV, tap your remote so you never get blindsided again.